WWE RAW already in the books, so let's talk about what they did out in Germany. Plus, it was a wild weekend in the NFL. Let's talk about it. Couch Potato Diary Live starts right now. Welcome, everyone, to Couch Potato Diary. My name is Peter Klein. Thank you very much for hanging out today. Yes, WWE going a little bit early with Raw, so we're going to go late with Couch Potato today. Honestly, I forgot they were going early. And so just setting everything up, it's like, okay, and I should do my Raw, like 3 thoughts, and then like Raw preview. It's like, oh, it's on in 25 minutes. All right, well, let's just push this till Raw is done then, and then, took a little bit of time and all of that. So going live now with it all. But as always, presented by Sea of Dead. Head over to seaofdead403.ca. Get all that great Calgary swag. We got this great Calgary Cannons hat up there right now. So check it out over there. Also, head over to swiftenergy.gg. Use the code PKPrimetime for 25% off. Tall John bouncing between a couple of chats, saying he accidentally opened up on Kick by mistake. But either way, happy to have you on whatever platform, Kick, Twitch, or on YouTube. Yes, we are going to be talking about the Germany event. So if you haven't watched yet, I guess, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about that here in just a matter of moments. And then we'll get to some of the wildness with all of the football and everything like that that happened over the weekend. So a lot to get to on this particular stream. So we may as well get right into it. Let's start talking about WWE Monday Night Raw. Honestly, I was a little stoked for it. I thought this was going to be a pretty big one, and it was definitely a show. Let's talk about it. So, WWE RAW, all wrapped up from Germany, had a couple of things, I guess, noteworthy. We have Mr. Kellergy. Hi, I returned from the PSD Dome. Okay, well, welcome. Thank you for popping in today. Greatly appreciate you coming in and saying hi. Let me know what it was like. It seemed like a fun crowd, honestly. It seemed like the crowd was going pretty good, as we have come to expect from crowds over in Europe and various places here in Canada and some in the States. But certainly the European crowds know how to bring it. And so, yeah, I think that kind of added to it. Overall, I thought the show was I don't know why I was hoping for a little bit more out of this one. Maybe because it was on at a time I was here. And it's like, okay, let's watch it live and let's do it. Main event was good, as you would expect, with Gunther against AJ Styles. But let's get into a little bit more of this, as obviously that was the big thing on the card. Gunther against AJ. I thought it was. I think I said before, main event was good. That's underselling it a little bit. The main event was very good. As Mr. Kellergy, I'm probably saying that very wrong. I apologize. But traveled from the Netherlands for this. Yes, the crowd was invested. Love it. Yeah, they were definitely into it. That's for sure. And getting in on the Gunther stuff as well, going up against AJ, and the fact that this guy is still in AJ Styles this good at this age and being able to, obviously he has toned down the high-flying stuff and all of that quite a bit from his days in the X Division in TNA and everything like that, but this is still one of the best performers in the world. And the fact that he has that, we're talking about John Cena as, this long run of being at the top in the WWE, and he wrestled a hard style, but not a overly fluid or anything like that style, but for AJ, sorry, apparently I get choked up talking about it. For AJ to be one of the best wrestlers in the world, basically from 2005 to 2026, with no break, no breaks in between. I'm sure some injuries popping up here and there, but you go from him being the new guy in TNA kind of bursting onto the scene to taking things over in the X Division to being truly the face of TNA into the Bullet Club, New Japan Pro Wrestling stuff, into the phenomenal one in WWE, into the face that runs the place and all of that. And all throughout that, every stop along the way, considered one of the best wrestlers in the world. And I am hoping now with this retirement run, he gets a lot of the flowers he deserves with that. And another phenomenal performance here. Like the springboard 450 targeting the calf to set up for the calf crusher, I thought was great. And I was a little surprised that we were getting this quickly, because this felt like something you could build up for a really big event. Not that, Raw in Germany isn't, but this felt like a Saturday night's main event, Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, something along those lines. Like, you could really extend this out. But I think the story they told with AJ trying to tap out Gunther and trying to make that statement, I think you can kind of continue this now where my head was in the wrong spot. Also, the finish comes with Gunther hiding a tap on the backside of AJ where the referee couldn't see. Also, I put my hand out of here and then did the tap thing anyway. None of you can see where my hand is. I am on the other side of my desk. I don't know why I did that. But Gunther doing the tap thing on the other side of AJ, you keep Gunther looking strong, because he did in this match. You have Gunther continue to be the heel that we all hate, and it allows you to continue this feud. So I think for a couple of different reasons and a couple of different layers, this is something WWE doesn't do a whole lot, and that's kind of kickstart a feud with that big match on television. It's very much, and I'm sure this wasn't the motivation, or maybe it was, but it's kind of something AEW has done, where you get the big match on TV for free, and it gets a bit of a whatever, and now we have set it up for a pay-per-view, and we go on, or a PLE in this case, and we go on that way. It felt very much like that with this one. I thought a really, really, really strong card. And yes, Mr. Keller, he is, well, phenomenal. He is. There's no... I don't know if anyone's had a better nickname that has summed them up as a performer in the history of ever than the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. Like, just every little bit of it was spectacular the whole way through for AJ. So very, very impressed with that main event. And I thought they set it up throughout the weeks pretty well, and we still are hating Gunther now going forward. Going to the start of the show, I thought the opening was all right. I'm never going to complain about Rhea Ripley and Io Sky on my television, but this was a very WWE paint by numbers. Here are the challengers promo, and we're setting up the triple threat for later in the night. Obviously, along with Mr. Keller, a number of people singing along with Bayley's theme when she comes out, one of the all-time great chants. Really one of the first ones that took off over here in North America with the Hey Bayley chants. That was A, top-notch stuff, and B, doesn't get old. And that may have sounded sarcastic. It wasn't. I genuinely believe it doesn't get old with that. I loved it. So, like the promo segment, it was what it was. I don't think it really got us all that far along, but it sets up a match that now sets up what should be a pretty good feud as we go to later in the night with Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez picking up the win in that triple threat tag team match. A Roxy, Liv, Rhea, Io storyline is going to be art. It's going to be so much fun. There are so many different layers that this feud can kind of hit on. Honestly, you could ride this one to Mania. I don't think they will, but I think you could. Like, you could really get a substantial storyline out of this. And so, was it the most inspiring way to get there on this particular show? It was not. But I think, once again, one thing they've done with Judgment Day pretty well is tie it in with a few different things. And so I think this feud, with the overall Liv starting to get a little pissed at Finn and everything like that, and the Raquel Rodriguez, all of it, I think all this could mesh into if done correctly, and this is something that WWE for the most part has done pretty well, this could be one of the ones that kind of sets them up. Honestly, it feels like a long time. This could be one of the ones that sets them up for the year. Like, they've done that with Judgment Day before, where it's just little this, that, other things, because you can do, obviously, there's a lot with Rhea and Liv, and you could do that. Io and Liv would feed generations. Roxy and Io, sign me up for 60 minutes of that somewhere down the line. And just like every iteration of it, plus a Raquel here, a Finn here, Dom when he comes back at some point maybe. Like, wherever you want to go with this, there are so many different things that it sets up. So I think they've done a really good job with it, and or can do a really good job with this one. Now, Tall John in the chat, Gunther is so hated that if he is ever turned face, his popularity might be Cena or Rock level. I know, tough take. Toxic and I in here. When it looked like for a second after, was it Survivor Series last year or Crown Jewel, where Gunther lost to Cody, and it looked like they were starting to kind of turn him babyface. I was screaming, "Don't do it! Don't do it!" Because this guy is the perfect heel, right? Like, he is so good at being unlikable. But to your point, Tall John, it is becoming to a point where once he does turn, I think everyone will just fall in love with the guy. Because like you get the chops into it, and he has an athleticism for a guy his size that people will fall in love with, I think. So yeah, that is a very fair. I mean, maybe I don't know if we'll get to Rock levels. I don't know if he's going to turn into one of the highest grossing movie stars of all time, but I think that we will get to a pretty high level if they were to ever turn this guy as a babyface. But honestly, he could be a career heel, and I don't think it would get old with him at all. Next up, Javon Evans. I think he's going to be a blast on the main roster. He wrestles whatever they call Tyler Bate. I think it's Bravo Americano. Probably not the best for me. I have just not taken 1 second to dedicate what they're actually calling these guys to any brain power in here. I'm not going to. I don't care. I don't like. It is what it is. But the match was fun, and I do think it's interesting. They're jokingly hinting at the Tyler Bate stuff, like they Wade Barrett calling him a big strong boy in Spanish, and Bate doing the airplane spin, like, oh, we haven't seen anyone do that, and well, never mind. It's like, are we just like subtly like not even pretending that this is the, oh no, it's not this guy, what are we talking about thing? I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think it's so weird. And I know it's been brought up before, but if you watch Bate win the NXT UK title for the first time and Pete Dunne come out with the belt in his mouth and all this stuff, and you say, okay, so here's what's going to happen with these guys like 5 years from now. And you go through that. I don't know if anyone would believe you, but this is where we are. If we did like, oh, well, Vince, am I right? It's like, well, not necessarily. Although, according to some text messages, maybe a little longer than we thought he was. But as far as this match goes, like Javon Evans, he's so much fun. And I love that, like, you see the interview that Swerve Strickland did with Chris Van Vliet. And Swerve is saying, like, yeah, this kid's better than I am. Now he's had like different experiences and everything, so he should be, but like this kid is good. And there is probably an ironing out to him that needs to be done, but I'm almost right now just let him be this and we can figure out the ironing out later. I don't want to like, he has a authenticity to him that is really, really, really hard to get in, with all due respect, and I hate this phrasing too, in a fake world. Right, like the authentic Javon Evans character is something that everyone strives for and very few can get. And this is either the best acting anyone has ever done. Like if this guy is just off with a deep voice, just ripping darts in the back and being an absolute asshole, that would bum me out a little bit. If it just turned out that this guy, oh no, he sucks as a dude, but he can play this, he's bouncy on television. I mean, kudos to him if he could, but that would genuinely bum me out because this guy seems to be just this authentic guy. And yeah, the promos, maybe we could enunciate a little bit better. And some of the in-ring stuff is a little all over the place and we're flailing and it's whatever. But A, it's exciting as hell. And B, it comes across as, yeah, that's him. And not everything needs to be perfect. Not everything needs to be refined. It needs to be entertaining, and he has that in spades. So there are a lot of guys who I will be like, no, we need to tighten this up with. I don't want to change this guy because I don't want to risk losing what he has to try to make him fit in with all the other stuff that's going on. He is incredibly athletic. He is very unique at everything that he can do. And there is a real package that you can put together with this kid that makes him feel like a main eventer. I thought it was a little early. I like it when you go through the progress on NXT, you win the title, you get a chance to carry it for a little bit. Fans get to recognize you as a main event caliber championship level guy. You learn how to wrestle that main event caliber championship level match and be the guy at the end of the show at the WWE level, and then you go up to the main roster. So I would have liked to have seen an NXT title run with him, but he's also main roster ready right now, and we are seeing that And you can already see they're setting him up for the Kofi stuff at the Royal Rumble, where they do the 3-on-1, they've surrounded him on the announce table, and he just springboards over top of them and runs out of the ring. The kid's special. He's already special, and he's 21 freaking years old. It is insane how good he is. Back on the Gunther talk, Tall John, he enjoys the bad guy role. You can see the joy in his face in the ring. Oh, he loves being hated. Like, there is no other human being in the world that enjoys people disliking him more than Gunther does right now. Like, I don't think I like being liked as much as he loves being hated. Like, the boos are cheers to this man, and he has embraced every last bit of it. We're getting Punk against Balor next week. I get why we're doing this, and you can kind of explain it away with the, like, as part of a Finn hasn't done anything storyline. And if we are to springboard from this against Punk into a bigger feud around that sort of a thing, then fine. But I really wish there would have been you haven't done anything. Why would we give you this chance? Go out there and beat whoever you want it to be, right? Like, anyone on the roster. Have it a number one contenders match with Finn Balor and Tozawa. And we could figure that. And okay, well, Tozawa's probably not going to win, but at least we saw Finn Balor win. I don't love that we're just throwing together a match with CM Punk and Finn Balor just because they happen to be in Ireland next weekend. I wish they would have done... There was literally anything you could have done to set it up. The only reason I'm giving benefit of the doubt a little bit is because, like I said, it does seem like it is branching into a bigger, what is it that you do here? Judgment Day Finn Balor story. But I would have liked to see them ramp things up a little bit. Braun Breaker certainly hasn't lost anything since losing in the WWE World Championship match on the 1-year anniversary on Netflix last week, as he's still insane. He goes out, launches and spears, who is it, Dragon Lee, and then with a big spear as well, takes out Penta, and then he and Adam Pearce get into it, and then there's a big whole thing, and this and that. So, no cooling off for this guy. He's my pick to win the Rumble right now. Honestly, Tall John, we were talking about Gunther turning babyface. This dude's going to turn babyface, and it's going to be soon, I think. And, like, Gunther against Braun is a main event forever and always, right? And I would be worried if this was a past regime, and it would be a USA versus not in this case. I'd be worried about that. But, like, this dude is a superstar. And I didn't mind him losing to Punk on the January 5th episode. I think you still want to give this a little bit more time. And I have criticized, and we'll talk about it in a little bit, WWE for we can only change the title at WrestleMania or SummerSlam or the Royal Rumble. That's the only time we can change the title, or in a Money in the Bank cash-in. So all the other ones don't really matter. That being said, with Braun specifically, I think you have to have his first win be a really big deal. And I think when he turns babyface, him against Gunther, again, sign me up for that for forever. I think that's going to be one of the great things. And I think, honestly, that could be how you kind of transfer from Cena to Braun Breaker, who is probably the next face of the WWE going forward, is he can come back and be like, man, I got a respect for the history of this business, given what my family has done in it, and everything like that. So I don't like that you're talking down to all these veterans. I don't like that you're retiring all these legends. I'm going to come out and just kick the shit out of you. And we're going to go that way. I think that there's some really interesting stories you can tell with this guy. But the one thing I didn't like, I understand this match and this segment was all just a vessel to have Braun Breaker be insane for a little bit. Did we need a disqualification in this match, really? Like, I like Dragon Lee a lot. I think we probably could have beat him. I think he probably could have lost this tag team match here. And then Braun Breaker comes out and does his thing after the fact. I think we could have done that. This is getting very House of Torture and very Death Riders and all of that. Like, it's constant. Oh, well, the Vision's out. Can't wait to see who gets them disqualified. And it's not even creative ways of doing it. Again, Braun was fun running down and spearing the bejesus out of someone, but I feel like we could have got a win here. And then done the Braun Breaker thing after all is said and done. So I kind of wish that we could have got a little bit more out of this segment than just, oh yeah, Braun's still insane. Also, Austin Theory ain't it. Like, he is such an afterthought in this thing. And you just, like, he is a talented performer, one of the all-time great Stone Cold Stunner takers. So congratulations to him for that. He is in phenomenal shape. But, and I like it just, you look at him and it just, something's off, right? Like, it just, he is standing, the way he talks, the way he walks, the way he is standing there, the way, and this is such a negative criticism, and I get, like, not working with the most here, but even just the way his face sits, he just has resting, I'm not a wrestler face, and it's, like, I know it's shitty to say that, and hypocritical, because again, I mean, got, like, a weird beard thing going on here, I get it, but, like, it just, for all of that, for this big of a spotlight, for him coming in during War Games and having it be a, well, whodunit for a few weeks and have it be that dude and have it just missing that X Factor thing that you need when it is this big of an opportunity and there are so many other guys who could have that spot, it sucks. You know, like, it just, oh, I hate it. And, like, Trick Williams is doing his own thing, but could you imagine if that was Trick that came down, did some of those stuff, and now he's standing with the Vision and he's in that spot? Or, like, we all saw, Montez Ford would have been unreal in this position and gone off and done something with it. But it's just like it gets annoying when you hear some of the old podcasts and, oh, well, why didn't that guy work out as a champion? You know what? He just didn't have it. And you hear that, it's like, oh, that's such a cop-out. And now I am doing that because that is the only thing I can describe with Austin Theory is that you look at him, you hear him talk and all of it, and it's just, there is something missing that you can't put a finger on. And I'm out on him. I can't take him seriously in this role. A couple other things to watch. Slightly fascinated by the Otis and Tozawa stuff, them becoming maybe a little bit more serious. I would love the idea of Natty just leading this whole group and turning them into a serious thing. I have said for a little bit, when Gunther came out and trash talked Otis and Tozawa, I was like, you could make this guy. You could make these guys like some serious actual wrestlers and it'd be pretty good. Tozawa is, at a time, he was one of the better wrestlers out there. Otis, your mileage may vary, but there's a pretty good performer in there as well. And if you have Natty leading that with a bit more of a serious approach to Maxine, I think there's a lot of fun and a lot of good things you can do with that group. So I'm excited to see the progression of that. Overall, it was a bit of a blah show, right? Like, we had the big match with Gunther and AJ. You have a couple things that, all right, if this goes well, then maybe this will be good down the road. But this felt pretty blah. When you go back to SmackDown a couple weeks ago, where it felt like every segment someone new was coming out. And you get, okay, well, now it's Zack Ryder. And hey, look at that. We got an Obafemi tease. And now we got Trick Williams coming out. And it's all these different things. And then you come to this show and it's just, well, might be good sometime. I don't know. It's a bit of a bummer. But again, for those in attendance with Mr. Keller, I thought, like, the atmosphere seemed great. It probably would have been a fun show to go to see some of the matches that we got to see and everything like that. But just from a episodic television standpoint, I don't know. We got a lot of potential on it. We will see if any of that kind of cashes through. So that's my thought on WWE Raw. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments, and we can keep chatting, or in the chat, and we can keep chatting about this. Obviously, WWE Monday Night Raw probably not going to make the same headlines that SmackDown did after its wild ending on Friday. Let's talk about a new WWE champion crowned in a very weird way. So, didn't see it coming. Drew McIntyre, new WWE champion. Really did not see that coming at all. There were so many times where it felt like this could be the big moment for Drew. And then it ends up being in a cage match on SmackDown. Like, just really, really surprising. And look, like, I've criticized before WWE just waiting for WrestleMania, waiting for SummerSlam. Nope, the loss has to be a big moment. And so you make all the other events just seem like they don't matter. So I'm not going to criticize doing it on a random SmackDown overseas. I found how they did it strange. I am surprised at the timing of it as we head into Royal Rumble WrestleMania season. I'm intrigued as to where you go now, but I was so caught off guard with all of it. The ending was really strange to me. Fatu comes out, and admittedly, one of the reasons I'm late on the stream is that I hadn't watched yet. I'm busy with hockey all weekend. And so I watched it today before I watched on Raw and tried to catch up on everything. I knew Drew won. And when Fatu came out, I was like, oh, this is going to be like a Big Show thing where Fatu like slams the cage door on his face and he just kind of falls out of the ring and he ends up being the champion. Like it's going to be something like that. But for him to just go in and just start attacking Cody out of nowhere, it almost like it got to the point I was like, did Jacob Fatu just join Drew McIntyre? Like, is that what we're doing here? Like, what is this that's happening right now? So I didn't understand it at all. I thought it kind of made Fatu look kind of bad, to be perfectly honest with you. To kind of help your forever rival right now get a championship win was just okay, I guess. So I didn't think it made him look great. I think it's a very interesting way for this particular character to win a championship, because Drew has so often been the I've been screwed guy. The world is out to get me. Why does everyone hate me? Why is everything always working against me? And now he gets a fantastic break by someone who was at one point loosely associated with the bloodline, to be able to get his championship win. So I'm interested to see how that character now kind of spins that. And I'm really interested to see where they go from here with Cody, because you can already see them doing a heavy as the head that wears the crown bit with him. And they kind of started doing this before one of the last times he won the title or lost the title. And he was doing the, "Are you my friend? Really?" And then he ended up like winning. I think he won that and we kind of just forgot about it. But either way, we were getting into this sort of a thing at one point, but now we're getting like, oh, wow, everyone's telling truths. And my friend Zack Ryder is coming up and saying, like, I want that belt. And Sami Zayn is saying that. And this guy's saying that guy's saying that. You could see Cody start, like, it could start to wear on Cody. And so there's part of me wonders if we're going with a heel turn now with Cody Rhodes and having him be, like, everyone is so obsessed with beating me that Jacob Fatu couldn't even help himself and had to attack me when the guy he hates the most is going for the championship. Why is this all on me? Why is everyone going after me? So I think that there could be a bit of a fun way to tell that story, but then you are taking away one of the biggest baby faces in the company when, like, aside from CM Punk, there isn't an obvious one that's just filling right in. Like, even if Jericho does come back, that's not replacing that. So, we'll see. But that would be my only kind of on it. But I think there's a very whenever they turn Cody heel is going to be an all-time great heel run, I think, in the WWE. But I'm happy Fatu is back. I want to see where they kind of spin this one from here. Overall, like, I don't disagree with the decision of going with Drew McIntyre as the WWE champion. I think it opens up a number of challengers that haven't had an opportunity to challenge for a bit, because you went from Cody as the champion, big babyface, obviously, and then John Cena, and there are but so many... knocking things over. There are but so many people who are going to challenge John Cena for the WWE Championship, and then it's Cody again. So if you've been a heel trying to break through as a contender for a bit, if a babyface trying to break through as a contender for a bit, there hasn't been a whole lot for you. So, like, Drew would be a pretty good one for Sami Zayn to break the title run on. Like that, if you wanted to do that at Mania, you can see where that would piece together. Now, you could have done that with Cody too, but maybe you don't want to risk getting boos for Cody in that sense. We'll see. But I think that there is a number of now interesting stories you can tell with it. I do want to say, I think they set this show up and this matchup specifically really, really well. On the night, that is. Like, the build up with the attacking him at home, and then the 3 stages at Hell, one of them being a Falls Count Anywhere match, like, that didn't really get the ooh that I thought it was going to from me. But then you go out and see how they kind of put it together that night. And I thought it was really effective. I thought they did a good job throughout the night of saying, like, this is the thing that is happening. And then it's commercial free for the last hour. And they do a big video package. And then all the hype in the world and all the credit in the world. I thought Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett absolutely crushed it on commentary for this one. They made it feel like a classic. They made it feel like a gigantic deal. And even as the match is going forward and in the final stage of Hell, where you have like Drew and Cody, and they're just exhausted and they're battling each other out. This was Joe Tessitore. He is over the top. He's over the top in everything that he does. But he went to his main event boxing realm, and this is just a heavyweight bout with both guys just swinging for the fences. And I thought he did so good at hyping this up in that way and building it up into, like, this is, any move could finish this match. I just thought, like, the night of, the build was spectacular. And by the time we got to that third fall, it felt like we were watching the biggest goddamn thing you've ever seen on television in your life. So credit to them for how well they kind of hyped that up as well. As far as the rest of the show, it was all right. Like 3 hours is a grind on SmackDown right now. I like that there are fresh faces involved, at least. That's good. Jordan Grace will be interesting, I think, on that roster. Trick Williams, the stuff with him and Randy Orton, I thought was chef's kiss. Like, there's a bit of a disparity there, but one guy's a 14-time champion, and the other guy made his debut 25 minutes ago. So there's gonna be, but Trick didn't seem too out of place in that. And then getting a good spot with Rey Fenix, who I wish was getting a little bit more, but beyond the point right now. I thought a good match there. I thought a fine open challenge with Carmelo Hayes and Shinsuke Nakamura. The one thing, like the MFTs versus the Wyatts, like A, it went too long. B, it's just not good. And now you're doing the thing in wrestling that I hate, where you're now trying to go with like the disrespecting something just for shock value because you don't have anything else. So you have a bland story, and now to try to rev it up, you are revving it up with something that this story does not deserve, with Solo taking runs at Bray Wyatt. Like, that should be a pretty untouchable thing, unless like this is like Solo is now going to go win the Rumble and do that. Like, if we're hyping him up for that, then okay. But otherwise, like, it's not enough. This feud is not enough to justify taking runs at the memory of Bray Wyatt. So that's the one thing I don't really love about it. But like, SmackDown will come around, I think, with a few of the fresh faces on there and everything like that. I think it's gonna take a little bit of time. But am I wrong? Like, did SmackDown hit it out of the park again this week? And what are your thoughts on the WWE Championship change with Drew McIntyre, now the man in charge, as they head into Scotland? So let me know in the comments or in the chat what you guys think of that. So the title didn't change hands on Raw. It did change hands on SmackDown, and it has to on NXT because Obafemi just vacated the championship belt. So let's talk about what should NXT do now that they don't have a champion going into their show tomorrow. NXT is without a champion as Obafemi relinquished the title, and so now it is vacated. And I am sure WWE and NXT aren't going to do a whole lot with this, but they could. So let's not look at what will they do. Let's look at what could they do with the NXT title now. I think first and foremost, I think he's a great performer, but I think if we just go back to Ricky Saints, this is lame. Even if Ricky Saints eventually wins the belt again at the end of whatever this may be, then okay. But I just don't want it to be and it's a fatal 5-way match and Ricky won. We need more than that. I think this is a time to be creative. This is not a stacked division. It wasn't a stacked division, and then you lost three of the best performers on this. Ricky Saints would be in there as well. 3 of the best performers in your men's division are gone. From a men's division that was real light to begin with. So I think you now have to get quite creative with how you do this and try to spark that. Because if you just, like I said, if you just do a fatal 5-way, no one is going to buy that Ricky Saints isn't winning that, because there aren't, I don't know if I could name 5 guys who could go in that title match at this particular time. So I think you have to start looking at some of the places that you have kind of ransacked in the past with your guys, and now let's start to get them over a little bit. I think it might be time to bring over a AAA person or a AAA person for an extended run. I know Vikingo, we have a heel turn and he's deep in a story out there. I think this would be a good time to start working that one a little bit. Have him still do, like, AAA is his thing, obviously, but he's still over here. He's doing the NXT Championship stuff, and he's being that guy and building it up on this as well, taking it over to Mexico and doing those title defenses. We have had a lot of, like, the Mega Campeon is Dom, and he's on Raw every week. So you can do it with the reverse now. Let's have the NXT champion be a dude from another thing, and he's pulling double duty. Like, I wonder if it's now time to start actually showcasing some of those guys and start to regularly fold them in. Then, every once in a while, Mr. Iguana is going to pop up in a dude's car like Joe Hendry, and we're just going to roll with it that way. I think that there are some things that you can do with the resources they have in other companies and take advantage of it. Same thing with TNA. Like, the TNA champion was on an NXT superstar for a while. I think we could do the opposite now. I'm not saying like Kazarian needs to win it or anything, but Santana, who was just in Calgary, I think that would work really well. Have him be the NXT champion for a bit, or someone else like that. Like, this is a division that is significantly lacking star power, but you do have resources in a couple of other companies to maybe try to spice things up a little bit and make things a little bit more exciting on the men's side right now on NXT. And if it's not someone from the outside, the only other person aside from Ricky Saints right now is Josh Briggs. I don't think he's ready, but I didn't think JC Jane would be as ready as she was. And she ended up putting on a very strong run as the NXT Women's Champion. And I guess still is. But I wonder if you kind of like, okay, the only reason we're not buying this guy as championship material is we haven't seen it yet. Let's just see him do it and throw him into the deep end and see what happens. He'd be the only guy that I could see maybe getting that shot. So those are, for me, the pick, if it were completely up to me, it would be either Vikingo or Santana coming in, winning the NXT Championship, and really giving a, oh my god, what's happening moment here in NXT. That would be what I would do. What would you guys do with the NXT title before they make their decision coming up here on Tuesday? Let me know in the chat or in the comments here after if you have any ideas for that. So you may have heard my phone going off. That does mean it's time to go. So the NFL stuff and the baseball stuff, that's going to have to wait for another day. A purely wrestling stream. Really enjoyed this. Thinking of maybe doing a little bit more. So let me know in the chat or in the comments after, since we're leaving now. In the comments after, let me know what you guys think of doing a little bit more just wrestling stuff on the channel. My name is Peter Klein. Thank you so much for hanging out today. This, as always, presented by Sea of Dead. Head over to seaofdead403.ca for that great Calgary swag. And also, hit up swiftenergy.gg. Use the code PKPrimetime for 25% off. The next podcast stream is going to be Wednesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Going to be doing that. But tomorrow, more wrestling. We're going to do some WWE 2K over on twitch.tv/primetimepk. So come, hang out. We'll have some fun. We'll talk some wrestling and talk whatever else you guys want to talk about over there. That's coming up tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Let's chat tomorrow, shall we?